You may have noticed my yellow wall in like one or two of my other videos. This wall has been yellow for like a month now at least. I have been wanting to paint it, but I got nervous about the paint fumes. So I've been waiting until the weather cooled off a little bit so I could actually open a window. It's still like 90 to 100 degrees where I live, but it's mid-September. The time is now. We're doing the wall. I've been very inspired to make our living room into like a 90s paradise because I am a child of the 90s. I was born in 89. The 90s is like, when I think of nostalgia and happy good times, I think of 90s. And I want to make this wall super colorful, super fun, and Lisa Frank-esque. Give me the essence of Lisa Frank and everything that I do, and I think I would be the happiest person alive. Originally, my idea was like dolphins, rainbows, hearts, stars, horseshoes, you know, the whole freaking Lisa Frank shebang. I really wanted to take pictures of all four of my cats and put them into Procreate and like Lisa Frankify them and try to paint that on the wall. I was gonna use like a projector. It was gonna be a whole thing, but I don't know why I thought that I am like a mural painter or that I could pull that off at all. I don't know that I can. And also this is a very small sliver of wall, so I don't want to overcrowd it. I want to make it like a cute background that just like looks cute from, you know, any angle or whatever. So I think I'm just gonna do rainbow cheetah print on this entire yellow wall. Like I said, I did paint this wall like a month ago and I was gonna do 2 coats, but I got anxious about the fumes, so I never did a second coat. But honestly, I think that 1 coat is fine. I don't really feel like doing another coat of yellow. And if my landlord is watching this, do not fret, do not evict me. This is wallpaper. I hung white matte wallpaper all along this wall and then I painted that with yellow acrylic paint. And if you have been looking for like a renter-friendly way to paint a mural on your wall, this I think is a good way. Okay, let me take you back to a month ago when my hair did not yet match the yellow wall. Of course, I started by moving everything out of the way. You then have to clean the wall before using peel and stick wallpaper. I'm dumb and I decided to use glasses cleaning wipes because I didn't have rubbing alcohol, but it actually seemed to work pretty well. It got some dirt off, so I guess it worked. I used 4 rolls of matte white wallpaper for my little sliver of wall, and I used this little kit. It was actually really helpful. I'll link everything I used below. And while I don't recommend sniffing your wallpaper necessarily, I will say that this smelled amazing despite the loss of a few brain cells. Hanging this stuff was pretty easy, but my walls are very textured, so honestly it looked horrible and it had so many bubbles, but the cheetah print mostly hid all of that in the end. I only ended up needing half of the sheet on my last row, so I cut that 4th roll in half with scissors and that worked pretty well. Also, I did overlap each row by maybe ½ an inch just to try to prevent any paint from leaking through in between the layers of wallpaper. Then I painter's taped it all up and I used the paper backing from the wallpaper to protect the floor from this absolute mustardly paint. A roller probably would have been better in hindsight, but the paintbrush worked out pretty well. I did my best to cover everything evenly, but laziness did get the best of me when it came to the section behind the couch. Something that I should have anticipated, but for some reason didn't, is how absolutely fumey this acrylic paint would be. So make sure you have some good ventilation if you plan to do this. Open a window, use a fan, something like that, because it's ripe. First, I'm just gonna give you a little tour of my area here. It's very small. We live in a very small little apartment, little 1-bedroom apartment. I don't have my art studio anymore, so this is my art studio for now. I want to set my tiny little area up really cute so that I can just come and film videos and feel good about my background. And then over on the other side where the chair is, where I sit sometimes when I crochet, I want to hang like a little gallery wall. I have some cool pictures that I could hang. Maybe get a nicer shelf that isn't plastic from Walmart and meant to be in a garage because I hate how that looks. I would love to have something a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, but that fits the budget for now. I don't really know what I'm doing or where to start, but I did watch a tutorial from like 2014 when this pattern was actually popular, and I think I've got a pretty good idea of how to paint the actual little blobs. I got myself a pack of a bunch of brushes, like some detail brushes, some bigger brushes, some even bigger brushes. I think I'm gonna start with like this big guy to do the initial blobs. I'm gonna do like the blobs in color and then go around with black around the outside. And then I got a big pack of acrylic paints in various, I was gonna say in various bright colors, and then I pull out brown. But like in various bright blue. I told you they're bright colors. Bright magenta, that sounds like a color I would want to use. Purple iris sounds cute. Jack-o'-lantern, I'm feeling it. Green, new shamrock. Oh, too blue. No, that is too blue, they're right. I think maybe these 5 are good. Here's our color palette. I think it is very Lisa Frank. So I think I'm just gonna stand on this chair, try not to fall, and start from the top. I've got a fan perched here. I'm gonna follow all of the Anxious Girl Google search result suggestions for how to paint indoors and not die. So I am gonna open the window once I'm done talking and embarrassing myself in front of my neighbors. I also have my respirator mask that I use when I'm metalsmithing, and for some reason using chemicals and burning metal and stuff doesn't make me quite as anxious as painting with child's paint on my wall. So I am gonna wear this. Don't mind the holes. That's why these are my painting pants. I came in like a wrecking ball with this first purple blob. I made it massive. So for the blobs after this one, I tried to make them a little bit smaller. There's really no technique here, nothing to really explain. I just tried to make them different shapes, some round, some oval, some oblong and bean shaped, and some triangular. I don't know, man, you're just making blobs. I imagine this is what Lisa Frank's chocolate milk looks like in the morning. I actually forgot that I was anxious about the paint fumes until I got a small, yet I'm almost certain life-threatening tickle in the back of my throat, so I donned my PPE and I kept blobbing. Ta-da! It's done, question mark. This is reminding me of when I was like 16 and my mom let me get like purple and blue and turquoise paint and like paint my wall stripes, and I was too lazy to like do the stripes correctly, so they were leaning. I guess I've always loved a chaotic wall, so I'm gonna let these dry. I kind of regret doing like primary colors, and I wish I would have done more like pastel colors, but oh well, this is how the cookie has crumbled today. Once this dries, I'm gonna do the black part, and then I guess it's done. I'll see you back when it's dry. It's been an hour or so. We are dry. Now I'm just gonna add the black outline around all of the spots. It's pretty late, I'm tired. It's like 12:30, but I'm committed. I wanna finish this tonight. So I think I'm gonna use the same brush and just go around them, I guess. Seems easy enough. Let's do it. This first orange one really pisses me off for some reason. I hate it, but I feel like I did get the hang of this as I went along, and I got better, I guess, if you can get better at tracing blobs with black paint. But it did actually become a really fun process. Basically, you just trace the blob on one side and you do kind of a C shape, and then you do 1 or 2 small dashes along the other side of the blob. You can switch things up occasionally, get crazy, make the black part go into the colored part. I would look at some reference photos, but I mean, you really can't mess it up. You also want to add random dashes of black and small little C and V shapes in between the blobules. This really ties it all together. Way to go, nature, on such a cool and cohesive pattern.
But I do what I like and I do as I please. Ooh, 'cause I was born in the 90's. But I do what I like and I do as I please. Ooh, 'cause I was born in the 90's.
1 hour later.
But I'm impulsive, I'm not insane.
What in the God? That made me fall off this chair.
No life in the night, no anxiety. But
10 out of 10 recommend slapping some colorful paint on your wall for a serotonin boost. This is so much fun. The painting itself went really quick. The acrylic paint dries super quick, so it only took me maybe a couple hours. Hanging the wallpaper was more of an intensive process, but this is like a really fun, easy, artistic creation expression for your apartment if you are just wanting to do something crazy but you're worried about your landlord kicking you out on the streets. This turned out way cuter than I was expecting it to. When I saw all the blobs of color at first I was like, okay, what have I done? I'm gonna have to rip this off the wall, but this is actually so cute. You should subscribe if you want. I don't know, I can't make you, but that would mean a lot. I've gotten a lot of new subscribers lately. I'm up at like 6,100, which is crazy. You guys just keep subscribing and that's so nice. I really appreciate it. Keep doing it if you want, and I'll see you next time for another thing. Bye!
I